Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another pick show for week 4 of the NFL season. I'm here with Moody and Isaiah. How we doing today, guys?
More football. More football. You can't be doing better than that. And we're about to enter that sweet spot in the sports season where they're all on at the same time. It's here, fellas. Call your girlfriends, let them know you're going to be busy.
Yeah, I'm just here trying to survive Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's out here being safe. It's dangerous out there. I've seen some crazy accidents. Hope everybody's doing okay. Stay off the roads. It's dangerous out there. But yeah, let's go over this slate, including our first London game of the year. Full days of football for the next 4 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, I think y'all are over there next week for the Giants. But this week we got Minnesota. Who loses a home game for this one? New Orleans. So Minnesota is -3 over under 41.5.
Yeah, New Orleans is looking pretty broken right now. Jameis Winston's doubtful. Michael Thomas is out. Al Kamara's been pretty beat up. We know Trevor Penning's out. New Orleans is looking like the big downside of shoving all in. And when you don't get the Super Bowl, this is what it can turn into. Their season's kind of riding on the line here. You still love their defense. They still are pretty talented across the board on that side. Marshawn Lattimore versus Justin Jefferson should be a banger. But other than that, New Orleans isn't really anything to get excited about. And as for Minnesota, Kirk Cousins not on prime time, so I guess that's a good sign for them.
The exact opposite.
The farthest away possible.
Well, isn't it still technically prime time because they'll be the only game on?
No, it's when the lights need to be turned on. It's when the lights need to be turned on.
Now, technically, in London, they'll be the primetime London game.
So I gotta get a little nervous about.
But if I'm doing my calculation correct, I think they're 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time, so it's still only a 1 o'clock game. So
yeah, so local time, Kirk Cousins should be just fine here. Dalvin Cook with the shoulder injury looks like he'll be ready to go. Minnesota has looked competent on defense, and then their offense has been really up and down. Typical Minnesota Vikings things. They're probably right around an average football team. But given the fact that New Orleans is dealing with the injuries that they haven't really looked so good so far. They're a Atlanta Falcons choke for being 0-3. I'll take Minnesota to cover here, get the victory, and I'll take the under.
I see it the same way. I think it's that easy. I'm going to take Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. That connection have a good breakout game. I think Minnesota could build on the momentum they got from last week's win versus Detroit. But I'll take the over because Minnesota's defense isn't world beaters, and they might get up so much that garbage time New Orleans might be able to do some work.
With the red rifle? All right.
Yeah, I put a very, very responsible amount of money on Minnesota -3. I'm taking the under because London games have been historically under if my research was correct. But I think Minnesota, if I have them division and like a top 2 seed the way I do, they need to win this game. And I just think they'll surely score way more points than Andy Dalton will with their offense being completely healthy. So I am easily going Minnesota over New Orleans. All right, boys, we're going to Indianapolis where they are hosting the Tennessee Titans. Indianapolis -3.5 over under 42.5.
Yeah, I'll go here first. These 2 games were the backbreakers for Indiana's season last year because if they had won one of those games against Tennessee, including that one where Carson Wentz threw the interception, the pick 6 from his end zone, they wouldn't have had to beat Jacksonville. They would have been securely in the playoffs. Unfortunately for them, I still think they're not better. And like the same thing I'm going to say about Tennessee last week versus the Raiders, I'm going to go with the better coach, the better quarterback, the better culture. I'm going to take Tennessee to cover and win. And I'm going to take the over because both defenses are not in their full swing of things yet. Some injuries. We'll see about Darius Leonard. Is he back? I'm unaware of that. We know he's been nicked up the last few weeks, and Tennessee's had a lot of injuries in the secondary. So I'll take Tennessee to cover and win, and I will take the over.
I have to I'm sad now looking back on the preview show. I now have to die on the hill of the Indianapolis Colts. And in order for them to do what I have said they're going to do, they have to win this division game at home. So I will take the Indianapolis Colts. They're really testing me. My under theories work great, but they are really testing me with these totals this week. I will go the under. Both teams running the ball, long possessions. I will go the under in this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with you, Eric. I just think Indianapolis is a better football team, even if it's not by much. I like them a little bit better. Both teams were in season-saving mode last week because the 0-2 start or the 0-3 start is a death sentence in the NFL nowadays. The 1-3 start's not that much better though. So both sides here are still in position where they have to go out there and win football games. I think the Colts are a little bit more desperate, especially with their coaching situation. I think Jonathan Taylor has a chance to get going here, and in the Tennessee secondary is really, really bad, and they're dealing with injuries. I think that'll open things up for Michael Pittman and Treylon Burks to finally get going. I like Indianapolis to win the home division game here, and I'll take the under.
Yeah, so let's keep it moving. We'll go to Isaiah's game. Record-wise is one of the best games on the 1 o'clock slate, but don't let records fool you. Chicago at the Meadowlands, -3 for the New York Giants, total of 39.5.
Definitely going to be the most boring game at the 1 o'clock window. Classic New York Giants football, classic Chicago Bears football. I'll take the under because Justin Fields has some of the worst passing statistics of all quarterbacks in the NFL, and the Giants have some of the worst offensive stats of all teams in the NFL. So I'll take the under, and of course I'm going to rock with the Giants to get the 3-1. So I'll take them to cover, win a game, 14-10, 17-10, 17-13, something like that. I'll take the Giants to cover, win, and the under because I don't expect to see many touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, these are two classic 1930s original franchises playing classic 1930s original football. Poor offense on both sides of the ball. There's no excitement here. The fact that one of these teams are going to be 3-1 is so NFL. It's ridiculous. It's why it's the best league in the country. You can't write the Giants and Bears being 3-1 in a professional sports league. For Justin Fields and the Bears, they can't complete passes at this point. Like, they can't go out there and do the simplest of things on offense when it comes to throwing the ball. I think they'll be able to hang in it with their run game, even despite the loss of David Montgomery. Khalil Herbert might be better. Justin Fields scrambling around will be able to allow them to make some plays, but their inability to effectively pass the ball and Justin Fields being so young, I think Wink Martindale will be able to fool him a couple of times. And for the Giants, we know what it is. Saquon or bust on offense. Bears run defense has also looked very shaky, especially against Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon a couple of weeks ago. I expect that to continue here. The Bears defense is nothing to be scary about, but these are just two bad football teams cosplaying as good football teams. I'll take the Giants to cover and the under.
Yeah, we'll agree on this ugly game. I'll just take the Giants just because I trust their defense more than the Bears, I guess. This game's just ugly. No, switch me to Chicago. I'll take the points. I'll take points for these bad, stinky teams. I won't take either of these teams -3. I'm sorry. And don't say record because we know the Giants are not a good football team. It is
bold prediction. Kenny Galladay gets into the end zone this week.
Wow.
A Giants receiver scoring a touchdown? When's the last time we saw that?
Sterling Shepard scored the game-changing touchdown on a 70-yard bomb against Tennessee this year.
So that's one of the past 20 games? All right, not too bad.
All right, boys, let's switch it to the game of the 1 o'clocks. Buffalo heading to Baltimore. Buffalo is favored by 3, over under 51.5. I guess I'm going to go Baltimore. I'm going to take the points and the front runner for the MVP right now. I'm scared because it's Buffalo coming off a loss, so they might be coming for smoke. But I think having the defense that they have showed better last week than it did against their collapse against Miami. So I will take Baltimore and the points, and I'll take under 51.
Yeah, this is the battle for the MVP right here. It gets decided this Sunday because both of these quarterbacks are the sun that their team revolves around, and whoever comes out on top will have the narrative edge in the MVP race. Two really good football teams, but both sides are dealing with injuries. I trust Baltimore to be a little bit more healthier. Most of their defensive guys are playing. They just have to get back in the rhythm after being out with a bunch of injuries. Offensively, Ronnie Stanley is expected to return this Sunday. That's huge considering Buffalo's been the best pass rushing team in the NFL. They're really going to need to be able to hold up in protection there. I don't expect Baltimore to be able to run the football well, but their secondary has been really, really bad. And Lamar Jackson, while this year he's thriving more against blitz than coverage, has normally thrived better against coverage than he has against blitzing teams. Buffalo doesn't want to blitz. Lamar's going to be able to eat him up with Mark Andrews underneath and then make plays with his legs. For Buffalo, tough L against the Dolphins last week. Still think they're the best team in the AFC. The injuries have just mounted for them hysterically. Gabe Davis hurt his foot in practice again, and he's now questionable. Usually late additions to the injury report means out. Josh Allen's going to do more than enough to make the team and the offense relevant, but it's just going to be tough sledding, I think, for the Bills to overcome the injuries that they're dealing with against a really, really good football team in Baltimore. I'll take the Ravens to win and to cover. I'm expecting a highlight reel show between Josh Allen and Lamar. Who gets stopped last will lose the football game, and I'll take the over. This should be splash plays all over the place.
Historically, I think this is an even series. I think remember the game where Lamar Jackson shook Matt Milano out of his kneecaps in the first win that he got against the Bills, and then they had the playoff game where Lamar Jackson threw the pick six versus
Teron Johnson, I think it was.
Johnson, yeah, he took it back 100 yards. It's tough, but I think the Ravens' record is a little inflated. I think they played the Jets. Who they played last week?
New England.
So I think Buffalo's the better team. I think them coming off the loss is the key factor. So I'll take Buffalo to cover, and I'll take the under because I expect a sloppy game because it's still going to be outside, and we all know that it is. Hurricane Ian is giving us hell over here on the East Coast. So I'll take Buffalo to win a sloppy game, probably similar to the one they played in the playoff game. By here, I think it'll be the best game in the 1 o'clock windows, though.
Wow, the best game of the year. And that's probably the first game where all three of us had a different result to pick for. Anyway, all right, we got the Chargers trying to redeem themselves after Jacksonville put a whooping on them. They're minus 5.5 at Houston, over under 44.5.
This is tough. I'm going to go right away and say upset alert, ring the bell. And I'm looking at you, Rex Burkhead. We already know the damage Rex Burkhead did to the LAC last year. I'll take the Texans to cover. The Chargers didn't keep anybody healthy. They just did it. Their run defense still looks suspect with the injuries to Bosa now. It's tough. I know it's so tough. But I'm going to take the Texans to win, cover. And what's the over-under?
44.5.
I'll take the over because if the Texans win, they'll probably win because the Chargers didn't stop them at all. Herbert's still knocked up. Sucks for Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers. I think just having that much better of a quarterback, I think will give them a chance. And Derwin James is still playing. Like, they still have good players on that defense to me. So I will take the Chargers, and I guess I got to take the over if I think they're going to win by 5.5. So I'll take the over.
Yeah, this is really, really not a fun game to pick. This is not a fun game to pick. Justin Herbert's dealing with those rib issues. They can't get Austin Eckler going. Keenan Allen is out again. Mike Williams is the ultimate roller coaster for all you fantasy owners. It could be 100 and a touchdown, or it could be 15 yards on 2 catches. So you never really know what to expect from them, and the injuries have just derailed them on both sides of the ball. Obviously, Rashawn Slater being out, they're going to start Storm Norton. Storm Norton isn't any good. He's not protecting Justin Herbert in any way, shape, or form. Luckily for him, Houston isn't flush with pass rushers. Maybe that'll keep him up long enough, but it's not. It could get late early for the LA Chargers season with the way Houston has played against them recently. And for the Texans, Davis Mills has been so bad it's hard to trust. Like, that's really the hard part I'm having here. He looked like a competent NFL quarterback last year. He really hasn't looked that way this year. They can't get Brandon Cooks involved in the game. But what Houston can do is run the football. They can run the football down their throats, and that is why I will take Houston to cover here. I think that would be the X factor. Isaiah mentioned Rex Burkhead. Dameon Pierce is also a really good back as well. I think that tandem will be able to keep the Texans in the game and allow them to score some points. Brandon Cooks should get going. I don't think J.C. Jackson's going to play either. The defense, they're just too banged up to really run away from any football team right now. I think Houston's going to have some confidence going into this one. I'll take Houston to cover and the over.
Okay. All right. So this line is probably the most surprising for me. Seattle heading to Motor City. Detroit still -3.5 with their offensive injuries, which is crazy. 47.5 is the total. I will go with the cover gods. It is my tax because I did not take them last week. I must pay for it, and this is clearly the week I need to do to pay my respects to the cover gods. So I will take Detroit and the over. Ain't no way this is going over 47.5.
I hate this. I really do, because I don't want to get away from the cover gods. They burn me time and time again. They're missing Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're missing DeAndre Swift. The offensive line is still healthy, but I'm expecting a lot less from Jared Goff. Seattle's defense can be sneaky at times to be able to keep them in games. It's just an ugly one to pick. It's really, really hard to decide who's the worst football team here. As for Seattle, they're just the Seahawks. They're really the most generic, boring football team in the NFL. They're starting Geno Smith. Jeff Okudah coming up finally is going to make things interesting with him and DK Metcalf. That would be a fun matchup. Tyler Lockett on the other side should be able to do with whatever he wants to whoever's on the other side, because Detroit's defense still isn't very good. I think Seattle will be better in pass protection than expected. And I like Seattle and Pete Carroll's group to keep things feisty here against a Detroit team that's banged up on the offensive end. I'll take Seattle to cover, and I'll take the under.
You pay when you go against the cover gods.
I know. I pay.
But this is the week to go against the cover gods. I think the injuries are just mounted up a little bit too much. The best two offensive playmakers are out, meaning you're going to expect more from Jared Goff. He's shown me some things this year. Their game planning is amazing. Their coaching is excellent. I love the schemes, their game plans. I just think Pete Carroll is going to have a better game plan to slow down Jared Goff. He actually has a history of slowing down Jared Goff. So I'm going to take Seattle to cover. And, of course, I'll take the under, because are we banking on Geno Smith and Jared Goff to light it up?
How can you?
That's why I was surprised the total was this high. I was really surprised.
Yeah. Vegas is playing with y'all. They're making you – don't be fooled by those Detroit Lions numbers. That was a healthy Detroit Lions team. This Detroit Lions team ain't as healthy. So give me Seattle to cover. Give me the under. And this already looks like it's going to be a rough week for picks.
Yeah, so let's go to another snoozer. Jets heading to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh -3.5, total 41.5.
Snoozer. Eric, you better hide your moms. Zach Wilson is back. Boring snooze fest. What are you talking about? He's going to have the entire city of New York, the entire city of Pittsburgh on edge. You got to keep your mom safe, hide them away. Zach Wilson's coming. For the actual football reasons, though, Zach Wilson versus Mitchell Trubisky is nothing to be happy about. This is as much of a must-win for Pittsburgh as there's been in their franchise since the 60s. Their schedule after this is ridiculously hard. It's daunting. They aren't projected to be the favorite in another game for like the next 2 months. So the Jets here, you gotta take care of business here. You have to take care of business. You have to eat your vegetables, get the job done. The Jets defensively have been feisty, but still aren't very talented outside of Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams. I think Najee Harris will finally get the chance to get going here against a more suspect front seven. Pittsburgh OL hasn't been as bad as the stats would indicate. I think Najee Harris being banged up has hurt their run game as much as anything. Hopefully a softer matchup here would get the job done. And Mr. Trubisky's playing for his job. He is, I think, truly, if they were to struggle or stumble and lose the game, Kenny Pickett will be in the lineup starting next week. I really think the pressure of Mike Tomlin and those guys, they will show up and show out against a bad football team in the Jets. And for the Jets, I still don't think Zach Wilson's healthy. He had a MCL sprain and a bone bruise like a month ago. I don't think that's
it's been like 2 months now. It's been like 2 months. It's October now.
He had the bone bruise too, Isaiah. And as a Kendrick Nunn, Lonzo Ball fan, those bone bruises can take you out for a lot longer than you think. Especially with his first game back in this offense. Joe Flacco's been really decent for them. I like Pittsburgh to take it here. Their defense will hold down Zach Wilson enough. They'll confuse him. They'll take out their weapons. Garrett Wilson, still just a rookie. These guys are very, very young. Walking into Pittsburgh is no easy task for anybody. I'll take Pittsburgh in the under.
Ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell. A tie alert. We got a tie alert here. I can see a tie. This screams tie. But I'm definitely going to take the Jets to cover because I'm not picking Pittsburgh to beat anybody without TJ Watt causing hell on the other side easily. So I'll take the points. I'll take the Jets to cover, possibly win. And what's the over-under?
41.5.
Yeah. This could easily be a 20-20 game. 20-20. I can see that at the end, but I'll take the Jets to cover. I'll boldly bet a tie because I could see it. And Mitchell Trubisky, this might be the last time. This might be the last we see of him. But this is tough. If Pittsburgh loses this game, you could kind of say their season's over.
Yeah, you really can.
Yeah, I don't know where you go from that. So yeah, I'll take the Jets to cover. Take the points and under.
Yeah, honestly, Moody fired me up to take Zach Wilson and the Jets right there, to be honest. So, I'm going to take the Jets and I'm going to take the over. That'll be my stupid picks for a boring game. All right, let's go Jacksonville. The hot Jacksonville Jaguars heading to the Philadelphia Eagles. Phillies -6.5, over under 45.5.
Ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell. Revenge game for Doug Peterson. Give me Jacksonville to cover. Give me the over. Like we said about Buffalo last week, Philly's great, but they're not going to go undefeated. So they're going to be bumps in the road. And these out of division, out of conference games are usually what bumps teams up. So give me Philly to cover. Give me Jacksonville to cover. Possibly win and get that revenge win for Doug Peterson.
Isaiah, you have the complete exact thought process of me. To be honest, I don't think Philly's going 17-0, so I will take 6.5 points against them. I love the way Jacksonville's defense has been playing. Give me the points. I'm taking the under and Jacksonville.
I gotta disagree with you guys. I will call this my lock of the week. I think Jacksonville's punching up a weight class too far. Philadelphia, I think, is the better team on both sides of the ball. They're at home. Trevor Lawrence has played in some tough environments at Philly against a good Philadelphia team, a good Philadelphia defense. It's really, really hard to score there. I think Philly is dominant in the trenches on both sides of the ball. I still don't trust Jacksonville all the way. I think they've caught some people right place, right time. Still a good football team, a fun football team. But I think Philadelphia's ability to dominate in the trenches, running the football, Jalen Hurts scrambling, and then A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, Jacksonville doesn't have the corners to deal with those guys. While I think Philadelphia will have a much easier time slowing down the Jacksonville offense. I think Philly takes this in a route. Philly and the under.
Philly and the under.
I will say, I like the way Jacksonville's fast, versatile defense will match up against Philly's run-heavy option offense.
Oh, and my lock of the week, everyone, was Minnesota. I put too much actual money on them, not for them to be my lock of the week. All right, let's head to the ATL. Hotlanta. Cleveland coming in -1.5. Total 47.5.
This could low-key be the highest scoring game on the slate. There are only two teams in the NFL that are top 10 in pass and rush DVOA. That is the Cleveland Browns and the Atlanta Falcons. Both of these teams are extremely well coached on the offensive end. Obviously, see, Cleveland has all the talent in the world on offense except for the quarterback position. But Jacoby Brissett has shown you behind that offensive line, he can move the ball. He can make it work. Amari Cooper and Njoku, the two backs, that they have a pretty dominant offense on their side of the ball and the best offensive line in the game. I think Bitonio might be questionable, but I think they're expecting him to play. And as long as he does, they have the best road grading offensive line in the NFL that are obviously going to cause problems for an Atlanta Falcons defense that isn't really talented anywhere. And as for the Falcons, Marcus Mariota hasn't even had to play well to put up good numbers and for the Falcons offense to be top 10 in scoring. Kyle Pitts and Drake London are being used just like A.J. Brown was in Tennessee. Big bodied crossers. They make plays over the top. They're physical. They break tackles. And then they have a really good run scheme. Scroll Patterson has been awesome once again, even as he enters, I think, age 30, age 31. He's still been really, really good. I really, really like how both of these offensive coaches get their offenses moving despite a lack of talent at the quarterback position. I'm really, really loving the over here. But as for the spread, I will take Atlanta. I think Atlanta just is able to put up more points with their better quarterback slightly. And then I like them as the underdog here. I'll take Atlanta and the over.
You got to be insane to bank on Atlanta in this game. They can't stop the run, and Cleveland is one of the best running teams in the league. Cleveland keeps it going, and they'll just have to keep regretting that they lost that game to the Jets. I'll take Cleveland to play inspired for their teammate Myles Garrett, who's going to be recovering from his accident. I think they'll be playing an inspired brand of football. I think they'll run the ball effectively, and Atlanta will probably blow a lead. Atlanta will probably blow a double-digit lead in this game.
What a call.
Give me Cleveland to cover, and if Atlanta's blowing a lead, 48?
47.5.
Nah, under.
Yeah, I'm with you, Isaiah. Cleveland and the under. I'm confident in Cleveland enough. I'm starting Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb on the same team in one league. I think both of them will just give the work. All right, let's go to Moody's game. Washington heading to Big D. Dallas -3, over under 41.5.
And y'all, it's always surprising favorite when Cooper Rush gets the points here. But I think we all see the big problem in Washington. They have no offensive line to protect their scattered-brained, turnover-prone quarterback, and that's going to be the difference here.
Why do unnecessary shots? Why do unnecessary shots?
Too soon to say brain stuff.
I wasn't trying to go that far. I said scatterbrained. Carson Wentz is prone to mistakes, but moving past that comment, the Cowboys are the better football team. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence getting after the quarterback. Both the Washington's tackles are questionable. Their starting center is going to be out with a concussion. They just gave up 9 sacks to the Philadelphia Eagles at home. Now they travel on the road against the best pass rush team in the NFL. I don't know how Carson Wentz survives this without at least 3 turnovers. It's going to be tough. I expect him to be throwing the ball to Trayvon Diggs. It's going to be a long day for the Washington football team offense. And then for their defense, they give up 5.4 yards a carry. They have the worst secondary in the league statistically. It just hasn't shown up. Jack Del Rio, not only a piece of shit human, but a piece of shit defensive coordinator as well. And I definitely expect that to carry over here. I'll take the Cowboys to win and to cover, and I'll take the under because the Cowboys can only win low-scoring football games.
Lock it up. Lock it up. This is my lock of the week. Ain't no way Carson Wentz will be protected this weekend. He'll probably get sacked double-digit times if he isn't turning the ball over excessively while under pressure. So, yeah, give me the Cowboys to win in some sort of fashion that they kind of did last year against Washington the last time we saw these two teams play. Micah Parsons to at least get 2-3 sacks. And if he's not getting 2 to 3 sacks, DeMarcus Lawrence will, because there's a mismatch here. Washington's offensive line will not block Dallas's front. I just watched a better offensive line than the New York Giants play that Dallas front and also get whooped. So, yeah, sorry, Carson. It's going to be another long week, 3 straight weeks where he gets pulverized by some of the best defensive edge rushers in the league.
Yeah, same reason as y'all. I don't think Carson Wentz will be standing and being able to throw passes for long with how bad his offensive line is and the pass rush of the Cowboys, who they have the most sacks in the league. So I'll take Dallas in the under. All right, we can breeze through my game. Arizona -1.5 at Carolina. Over under 43.5. I am picking Arizona and the under. What about y'all?
I can't believe y'all are a favorite.
I know.
How in the world is Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers a favorite against anybody? Arizona hasn't looked great, but the Panthers are maybe the worst team in the NFL. They're definitely competing for it. I'll take the Cardinals to cover and the over.
Simple as that. Do you think Baker Mayfield is better than his Oklahoma successor? No. Give me Kyler Murray. Give me Kyler Murray to single-handedly.
No, the line's changed. So the line's changed to Arizona -1.5.
Same answer.
Oh, yeah. Give me
Okay. I was just making sure. So I was just looking up the most recent odds. It's flipped to the way it should be. But yeah, Arizona should work. They'll be hungry dog runs faster because they lost last week. Arizona landslide. Are y'all on the under?
What is it?
I took the over.
43.5.
So if I think Arizona scores 31, will Carolina score enough to hit the over?
You cannot score 13 points to get to bad defense.
Yeah, give me the over. Give me the over. Give me the over. No, give me the under. Give me the under. Give me
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's a trap. Give me the under.
Yeah, I'll take under as well. All right, so let's move on. Denver, we have 1 week where they're not primetime, boys, but we're right back at it next week. Denver at Las Vegas. Vegas -2.5, over under 45.5.
Another weird favorite here. I don't see how the winless team gets to be a favorite against Denver, but that's how bad Denver has looked. Like, I hawked on it last week in the review. I'm going to say it. I don't know what kind of ship Nathaniel Hackett is running over there in Denver. It's the sloppiest offensive operation I've ever seen. Jerry Jeudy, he's come in a complete non-factor. Cortland Sutton has been solid. But other than that, the fits just look really bad. They're trying to run quick game. Russell Wilson can't run quick game. I think everyone knows that except for Nathaniel Hackett. They refuse to get the running backs involved the way they need to. And the offensive line isn't very good. And all that mixed up has turned into a really, really bad offensive system for them. It's been rough to watch. Luckily for them, defensively, they're outstanding. Pat Surtain, they haven't even had Justin Simmons, but they can get after the quarterback with Bradley Chubb and Randy Gregory. A really, really good defense that has been saving Nathaniel Hackett from being much more in the hot seat that he's needed to be. And then as for the Raiders, another team that's not running a really smooth ship over there. Josh McDaniels continues to be a sketchy offensive coordinator at offensive play caller, head coach at best. They can get Devontae Adams involved, and that's pretty much it. Darren Waller has been a non-factor in their offense. Josh Jacobs, who's ran the ball well, isn't getting enough touches. He doesn't know what to do when the talent isn't as good as it needs to be, and he doesn't have Tom Brady. That much has been really shown here. But I'm going to take the Raiders here because I just can't imagine them going 0-4 and their season being over. That's the only reason that I'm going to take them here. I think what Eric always likes to say, the hungry dog runs faster. I think they'll be the more desperate football team. I think they'll be the more cohesive football team. I still think Russell Wilson and those guys will need another week. And then the Max Crosby on Cam Fleming matchup on that side of the offensive line is going to be an absolute mismatch. I expect them to be terrorizing Russell Wilson the whole game. I'll take Vegas to cover and the under.
I can't see the Raiders going 0-4 after putting together such a talented team. But the Raiders have been so terrible. How are they going to protect with that offensive line? Who are they going to guard those receivers with in that secondary? So, fuck it. Let's ride. Give me Denver to cover. What's the over-under?
Let's ride.
5.5.
Give me the over. Raiders lose a heartbreaker, and their season is over. And all those contracts that they handed out to Carr, Waller, Adams, Hunter Renfro, Josh McDaniels means nothing. Season over.
Damn.
That's right.
Well, Moody took my saying exactly for this game. Hungry dog runs faster, and we've at least seen the Raiders have some offensive identity, and Denver just doesn't have it. Give me Las Vegas. Give me the under. All right, let's keep it moving. The biggest spread of the weekend, New England heading to Green Bay. Green Bay's minus 9.5, over under 39.5.
If I hadn't already abused Green Bay's ownage of Chicago for a lock of a week earlier this season already, I would have gone. This would have been an easy lock. But come on, do you think Aaron Rodgers is losing to Brian Hoyer?
Hey, that's Axel Brian Hoyer. I don't know. Y'all learn the new name. This ain't Brian Hoyer. This is Axel Hoyer. That's a completely different man.
I'm just gonna look at some other numbers to make sure everything that my math is adding up here correctly. I think it is, but yeah, give me Aaron Rodgers to do enough to beat Bill Belichick out in an ugly game, because the Packers offense isn't anything to write home about, but this screams 21-10. So give me the under, easy under. Give me the Packers to cover, because if New England scores more than 2 touchdowns in this game, it would be a Christmas miracle, and it's October. So no, it's not time for Christmas miracles yet. So give me the Packers to cover. Give me the under.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same thought process, Green Bay, but I'm going to go the over. I don't know why. I've been unders king, but 39 and lower just scares me because, like,
what is New England going to score? How is New England going to score?
It's football. You don't know. They could get a defensive touchdown. You don't know. I think there's just going to be one too many scores for the under in this one. I'll go Green Bay and the over.
Yeah, it's so bad. But I think Bill Belichick has a rabbit to pull out of his hat here. This is the most down bad the Patriots have looked in. Who knows? Even when Cam Newton was starting quarterback for them, it's really, really ugly for them on offense. But Green Bay has shown some weakness in run defense. And I do like Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson to be able to attack that and keep the scoring down, keep the possessions down, keep the game down. I expect Green Bay to win. I don't think there's any doubt about that. There's no way some guy named Axel Hoyer is about to beat Aaron Rodgers. It's just not about to happen. But 9.5 is a touch too big for me, especially for against a Bill Belichick defense. I think he'll be able to hold it down against a Packers receiving core that isn't impressive in any way, shape, or form. Maybe they find a way to get Aaron Jones to put one of his famous fumbles on the ground and they're taken back for a score. But I think New England finds a way to cover here. This screams 17-10. Like it's going to be ugly football. I'm taking the under, but I think New England finds a way to cover.
All right, boys, let's go on to Sunday Night Football. Kansas City at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay -1, over under 45.5. I'm going Kansas City. I don't know how they're the team that is getting points, even though it's only 1 point. I don't know how you have Tom Brady favorited. 45.5. I'll go over. Give me over. Tom Brady's finally got his weapon back in Mike Evans. Julio is what? Is he questionable? He's questionable. So at least he has his number one guy back. Yeah, and the over. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and them will put up enough points to put away Tampa.
Before I watched that Colts game last week, I think I would have been right behind you, Eric. But that game worried me. It showed me the missing of Tyreek Hill. And if we remember the last 2 matchups we've seen between these football teams, the difference has been Tyreek Hill. When Tyreek Hill dominated the game, it was a runaway beatdown for Kansas City, but until Tampa Bay kind of fought back in it late in garbage time. And in the Super Bowl, when they held Tyreek Hill in check, it was a Tampa Bay runaway. These are 2 pretty even football teams, but I'm expecting Mike Evans obviously going to be back. I'm expecting Julio and Godwin to find a way on the field as well. I like Leonard Fournette being able to run the football too. I like Tampa Bay here. I think Tom Brady having his weapons back, he's going to look a lot better than he has the first couple of weeks. They're kind of due for an offensive breakout here against a Kansas City defense that's solid, but not that impressive in my opinion. And then on the other side, I think Tampa Bay's defense is a bad matchup for Patrick Mahomes and those guys. I think they'll be able to get after the quarterback with pass rush. Levante David, Antoine Winfield, and those guys will be able to corral Travis Kelce. And I don't trust our receivers to get open at all against a Tampa Bay cornerback room that's really, really good. I'll take Tampa Bay to cover a little Hurricane Ian bump. They'll be playing up for their families, for their city, for their state, and I'll take the over.
How often does Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes?
Pretty much every time.
Often. I'm not even questioning it. Give me Tampa Bay to win an ugly defensive game the way Tom Brady likes it. He's going to be using the weather machine that he learned how to use from his poppy, Bill Belichick. Tampa Bay wins easily because their defense does the heavy lifting. And then everybody will talk about, in the end of the day, Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes again. Sorry, Patrick. Your last chance to maybe you wait till the Super Bowl and get a rematch, but I doubt it. Your last chance to beat Tom Brady for a second time slips through your fingers. Give me Tampa Bay to cover. Give me the under. It's easy. I would make this a secondary lock if I could.
Wow. All right, let's go on to Monday night. Thank God I'm going third on this pick because I don't understand how San Francisco is favored in this football game. -1.5. They are at home, but total 42.5.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I'm going to pick the 49ers because they have the number over the Rams. They're home. The Rams got the last win that mattered the most in the NFC Championship game. It sucks, but I think that pass rush will be on Matthew Stafford's ass. We still know that offensive line's giving the Rams some issues. And Jimmy G will do just enough to not fuck it up. And give me the 49ers to cover. Give me the under. And, man, we're going to get another week of bad prime time games.
It definitely surprising that San Francisco gets to be a favorite here, in my opinion. I don't think they're the better football team. Jimmy Garoppolo looked horrendous the last time we saw him playing in the primetime slate against Denver, missing receivers, not being able to hit easy targets, running out of the back of the end zone. How can I pick a quarterback who's out here pulling the Dan Orlovsky? I just can't do it. LAR, the Rams, I think they broke the curse when they knocked them off in the NFC Championship game. I think the Trent Williams injury is massive for the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're a significantly worse team without him. That'll allow the Rams pass rush to amp up. Jalen Ramsey will make a couple plays against Jimmy Garoppolo in the secondary, as he always does. And I still don't believe anybody in the Niners secondary could guard Cooper Kupp. So in the end, I think the Rams will find a way to get the job done here. I expect more points to be scored just because Kyle Shanahan has had an ability to use Debo and killing those guys to score points. But I think Stafford and his guys will look a little bit better. I'll take the Rams to win and the over.
Yeah, Moody, I'm with you. I just don't understand how San Francisco is favored at all in this game. I will take the Rams pretty easily. 42.5, they're really testing me. I will go under and the Rams.
All right, bold predictions.
I got my. I'll go first. Let me go first because we got the MVP matchup against the Bills and the Ravens going on in the 1 o'clock window. A shame it's going to be on the same time as the Cowboys. I really want to see that, but I will take Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen to combine for 10 total touchdowns and one of the greatest shootouts we've seen since the Monday Night Football between Chiefs Rams. Lots of yardage. I think we're going to get a big one there.
In the rain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I already went with mine. Kenny Golladay gets into the end zone.
That's bold. That's bold.
It sounds crazy, but sooner or later he's going to get into the end zone at least one time. He might never get into the end zone, but if it's not this week, it will never happen. So Sterling Shepard injury opens the door for him to he has to be on the field now.
No Tony, no Wan'Dale Robinson. He has to play.
He has to play. He gets in the end zone, gets out the doghouse, and maybe the Giants learn to use him a little bit better. But that's bold enough for me. Secondary, Michael Parsons causes hell for Carson Wentz, but that's not even Bo. Unless I'm saying he's gonna have like a OC Manure 6 sack day, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah, I guess financially I have to go Kirk Cousins goes off across the pond. Please. Please, for me, I beg, I plead. Minnesota beat that ass. I guess Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson going off. I don't know what the Saints can do to stop that, really.
All right. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share, interact. 5 tools. We want 5 tool subscribers here.
5 of them.
Also, stay safe during the hurricane for all y'all living in the East Coast.
And for you West Coasters, enjoy the sun another day.